impact, big theme of this conference. John, what does impact mean to you?
It's a good question. I would say it's impacting those outside of yourself, being altruistic, taking risks, making sure that you're working really hard for your goals, because you're competing with companies and forces out there that aren't taking impact into account in the corporate world. And so you have to work twice as hard just to get out there and just to get your mission across and to actually have metrics and data around what you're doing. You have to compete with companies that don't have that as a play at all. So I think impact to me is sort of taking a step back and allowing yourself to take a back seat to the cause. And there's sacrifice involved in that.
And Sandra, I think people are wanting to know, what is MPOWERD, and as John alluded to earlier, what is its mission?
So MPOWERD is a company that focuses on three things: clean technology, primarily solar; consumer products, so we want to bring solar into the palm of your hands; and then also design. So we're best known for Lucy, our inflatable solar lights, and this is what Lucy looks like when it has not been inflated. And when I spoke about design, I was really alluding to form and functionality being combined into one product. So this product is collapsible and it's inflatable for a very real purpose. We're able to fit 60,000 of these in a container to ship them to the last mile, and a woman in an informal market in sub-Saharan Africa, for instance, can then carry 100 of these on her back to be able to distribute to others in her community. So the fact that it is collapsible also helps the backpacker who, in a developed marketplace might use our lights, clip one to the back of their backpack, and when they're out hiking all day, they can use solar energy to be able to charge the light, and then at night, inflate it and light up their campsite.
Amazing. And John, can you explain to viewers what the need is for a product like this and the problems that emerging markets are facing right now?
Yeah, so the problems are glaring and obvious and inequitable. So we make lights, and solar energy provides the ability for one to have light anywhere and off-grid. So 3 billion people have intermittent access at best to the grid. This light right here does not require electricity at all, doesn't require grid. All it requires is sun. So many of the places that are off-grid, like sub-Saharan Africa, have abundant sunshine. So you put this in the sun, and then it becomes a solar light. This one also will charge your mobile phone. So we're resolving two problems, challenges that folks have in these markets. One is communications, right? And the other is power. And so that's a really big capacity builder, and it's an equalizer, right? If someone in one of these markets wants to sort of move on up and get out of their current situation, they should have the same tools, at least the basic tools that everyone else does. And that's what this affords them, literally and figuratively.
Incredible. And Sangha, is there a specific story that pops to your mind when you talk about impact in these emerging markets?
There are so many stories, actually, because depending on who is using our lights, they're very useful in a wide variety of situations. So children use them to study at night. Female entrepreneurs use them to be able to distribute and earn additional income, or to even keep their businesses open later at night. In households, they're used in replacement of kerosene or firewood. And then also in natural disaster situations, they're very useful because they're waterproof, they're durable. If you weigh less than 200 pounds, you can stand on one, you can throw one against a wall, it'll continue to work. So right now, we're very proud to announce that we have partnered with Save the Children. It's their centennial year, and we've decided to make this the year of MPOWERD and Save the Children, because they tap into a lot of the mission work that we are trying to accomplish, whether it's around children, families, or community, or natural disasters. So most recently, for Mozambique, for example, we've distributed solar lights through Save the Children, and we'll continue to do so as Their initiatives come up during the course of the year, and we're really proud, to have this collaboration in place because of the tremendous work they do, and there's a really strong synergy, with our ability to give them lights that then go on to enhance the lives of those in the communities that they serve.
And Sangha, what are you looking for in the partners that you work with? What type of qualities, when you establish a relationship with another business, are you looking for?
So we have many partners, and that's what's really helped our business. We have corporate partners, retail partners, NGO partners, over 500 NGO partners who actually deploy the lights in local communities. I'd love to speak a little bit about our corporate partners, though. So we have various programs that are basically a win-win for both parties. So these corporate partnerships have been, a very strong path for us, and we're continuing to grow this space, not only in energy, but in pharmaceuticals and insurance. There's a whole industry around disaster relief and flood insurance, etc. So, for corporations who may not be, focused on the type of work we are, this actually allows them to, create a greater impact through partnering with a company like us.
These relationships are a really good microcosm of kind of what we do. And so we don't only impact the side of the world that doesn't have access to light and energy, we're also impacting those here. And so the adoption of solar we think is really important. I'll go out on a limb and say I don't think the public servants are doing enough for the public in terms of serving or servitude. So I would say that I think of ourselves, or we think of ourselves, as private servants. And there's a lot in that world that a lot of companies are adopting. And one of those things is teaching the principles and the values, whether it's for the environment or even economically, the value of something like an abundant source of energy like the sun, and that we're not harming our planet, and that it's sustainable.
And just to add on to that, do you think business should be playing a more important role in clean energy and in solutions for environmental problems?
Yeah, not only do we think that, but I think a lot of the corporations we work with think that, and that's why they're working with us. So there's a moral imperative that underlines all of this, but that's not why people do things in business. People do things in business because it's sustainable for them and they get a return. So many of the corporate partners we work with, they measure the results. And so there's a return on investment for them. So whether it's an attrition rate that's dropped, or a loyalty that's gone up, or adoption that's gone up, we have some of these larger companies that have increased by 20 to 25% because they're using our product. So if we can sort of make that a full circle, that's more exciting.
What's very difficult, Sangha, for a lot of the businesses we speak with is it's very hard to quantify their impact and measure their impact. How does MPOWERD do this?
So we are able to measure our impact in emerging markets. We don't necessarily measure the impact in developed markets whereby someone might be using one of our solar lights instead of turning on their electricity to read at night. But in emerging markets, we've been able to affect 3 million lives to date and avert 500,000 US tons of carbon dioxide.
Incredible. So this takes a lot of leadership too. How important is leadership and the leadership qualities in the partnership you work with as well to take on something like this?
So there's expectations in leadership. Obviously, we're pleased that Real Leaders has brought us here and acknowledged the work it takes behind that. I look at leadership as allowing people the ability to do their best and leading by example. So I've been told that I work too much by friends, by family, etc. But that's a quality that you look for, especially when you're competing with companies that don't have to deal with impact. And so if you really want to be altruistic, you really want to make a difference, you have to lead by example. And I think we do that. I think we work really hard. We flew in today, we're flying out tomorrow. These are the kind of things, and we're working along the way. I think a lot of our team and our staff comes to our company because of mission, but they all work really hard. And that's why they stay at our company, because they work so hard at it.
And John, you've also started other businesses as well.
That's right.
The one thing that doesn't get talked about enough is the struggle and the downsides. What are some of the challenges that you have faced along the way in this process?
So I think every day is challenging, being frank with you. I think starting a business that isn't a B Corp or a benefit corporation is challenging. Not a for-purpose company is challenging. Competing on a global level is challenging. I would say that now more than ever, the interconnectivity of the web, the fact that you're competing against global brands, and also brands that may not even reside in your immediate geography, it's difficult. And policing the web, your patent portfolio, that sort of thing, is also very challenging. I will say, though, there's a perspective on challenges that I've adopted. I know Sangha has it. A lot of the people on our team have it, whether it was learned or not. They came into the company with it, some of them. A challenge is an opportunity in disguise. I know it's cliche, but it is. You can look at it in two ways. You can let it hit you and fall down, or you can figure out a way to counterpunch on it. And I think that's what we're really good at. So I think it's a learning experience, actually. But to go into the types of challenges, the amount of challenges, it's daily. Challenges are business. Business are challenges. The successful businesses are the ones that make them opportunities.
And Sangha, you're at the helm of the company. You're the CEO. What is the most important leadership quality that you look for in someone?
So to lead is to lead by example, but it is to listen. To take that time to listen, to understand what's needed, to understand, how to better direct the company as it evolves, and to understand, who your consumers are, who are your partners, who's on your team, how are we all driving forward. So a big part of leadership to me is listening and then using all of that information to be able to formulate your strategy, constantly pivot on your strategy, to be able to, show your team and those around you that you have listened and that their feedback is part of that evolution of a company as you're leading them forward.
I'd just add that there's a bravery component to pivoting. And that's something that you do have to teach people that haven't been through it. So those who have been through it understand it. The fear that people should have is not pivoting. Change is actually a great instrument to utilize for success. But if you don't change, it's almost like a bad decision is better than no decision at all, because you're stagnant and things will pass you by. So you have to change, you have to learn from bad decisions, but at least you've made a decision, you've put something out there, you have an A/B test, you know what you did wrong, you can learn from that, or if you get lucky, you got it right.
And have you felt that your employees, their values correlate with MPOWERD? Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, I'll start. I think our employees, we did a survey a few weeks ago, a month ago, about why they were at the company. And 80% of them said they were at the company because of the mission, which was really pleasing. And the other 20% said for growth, for personal growth. And both of those things are excellent. I do think it's really important that employees are happy and content and motivated at your company. But I do think it's a learning curve for all of us. And to see it as a team, that we're all doing this together, is really, really crucial. Because you can't do anything alone, and people will make mistakes. And you don't want to point a finger, you don't want to say that's the reason, that's the person, that's why. You want to learn from it, admit it, and move on together as a team.
Yeah, and Sangha, would you say that the employee satisfaction is manifest in your products and your services and your customers?
Absolutely. So we love hearing from our customers. We love hearing from all of our partners. Our content is real. It's engaging. The stories come in from all over regarding, how people use our lights. Even today, at the Mo Summit, I was speaking on a panel, and afterwards, someone came up to me and said, "Oh, I have 13 of these." And another woman said, "Oh, I biked across the U.S. with one of these on my strapped to my bike." It's so engaging to hear these stories, and then for them to also say that they love the mission of what we're doing, that they love the product, and that they've been able to contribute to the mission simply by loving the product and buying it. And we hear that throughout our company. You know, this morning, one of our employees said that she loves working with us because we do allow 4 days to go and do volunteer work, where we will give the employee as many lights as they want to be able to do this work. And she signed up this morning to go to do some work in Puerto Rico with our NGO partner, All Hands, All Hearts.
Incredible stuff. And John, Sangha was touching on listening and attention. What would you say your definition of a real leader is?
So I think first and foremost, you have to shoulder a lot of the stuff that comes at the company. I think employees have their roles and their positions to fulfill, and if they're very good at what they do, that's one thing. A lot of our employees help each other out, and that's another thing, right? So then it becomes sort of a team effort. You need a little help here, you can ask this person, etc. I do think there are external forces that in running a business, that in leading a business, our employees will likely never know until they run their own business, and many of our employees likely will because they're very smart and they're very driven. But I think shouldering that load is really important. It's a protection mechanism that might be misconstrued as a lack of transparency, but at times it's you're taking on the brunt of the force that comes at you at a company, and you're making sure you're freeing up your employees to do what they do best. And that's a challenge both ways, but it's important.
Yeah, definitely. Distributing leadership, very difficult even with a small team like us.
Absolutely.
Sangha, lastly, any last words about MPOWERD, about the vision and next steps, as well as information about where people can find these products?
Absolutely. So again, MPOWERD is most known for Lucy, our inflatable solar lights, but we are continuing to grow the type of products that we bring into the marketplace. We just launched our solar string lights last year, and they've been extremely successful. And this year we're proud to be launching a plethora of new clean technology products, including solar bike lights, a solar induction charger, a new solar light for emerging markets. So we're really excited about the newness that's coming, and we'll continue to use, you know, all of the goodwill, all of the partners that we have to look for these market opportunities to really bring solar and energy products to the marketplace. So you can find all of our products at MPOWERD, that's MPOWER, POWERD.com.
Sangha, John, thanks for being real leaders, and we will see you next time, hopefully on another podcast coming up. We'll also be in New York, and for Sangha and John, I'm Kevin. I was telling you all to go out there and keep it real with real leaders.